Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the LPTV Disney Morning Show. I forgot my name. I can't remember. That's why we do this. There we go. There it is. My name is Doobie.
It's not just to
Mostly,
see how when I mute.
but that is a nice benefit. My name's Doobie, co-founder of Laughing Place, wearer of Kyle's favorite character today, the Orange Bird. And speaking of Kyle, there he is, Kyle Burbank, managing
Hello.
editor. How you doing, Kyle? How you been eating lately?
I had some pizza last night from my Domino's run. The Domino's by me has a drive-through window, so I don't even have to get out of the car. Rigby gets to ride along with me. It's fantastic.
I was living the bachelor life and loving every minute of it.
I haven't been,
So,
if you tell, I haven't shaved. It's been like 10 years since I've been alone.
and you decided you don't like it. You don't like it very
No,
much at
no,
all,
not
right?
for me.
No. All right, so we are here to talk about what's going on in the world of Disney as we do every morning right about this time. If you want to be a part of this, that's what the chat's for. Please hit us up in the chat. How do the people say it? Bomb the chat? Spam the chat? No. Run the chat?
Super chat.
Blast.
That's what I say.
Well, no, that's obviously we love that, but blast the chat. Blast the chat with your comments, your questions, anything you want to talk about. We start this day as we start every day with Doobie looking for a video. So yesterday it was in the 92 range. What you got for today, Kyle?
Um, I haven't read a whole lot of news. I know that there were some more banking concerns yesterday. I'll say down, and then I'll be pleasantly surprised if I'm wrong.
All right, let's refresh the page, share, and discover together.
Ooh, yeah.
Pleasant. That's the way to always do it. Say down. If you're right, you're right, and if you're wrong, woohoo! So,
There you go.
good job. And then the next thing we do every day after the stock price is find out what the weather is going to be like in your neck of the woods if you are in a Disney location.
We'll have to change that eventually. But here's Ethan.
Hey everyone, happy Thursday and welcome to the Laughing Place Disney Weather Update. I'm Ethan and I just found out that I too was on Aaron Rodgers' wish list for when he becomes a New York Jet. What an honor. But considering that both Mac and Kai are from New Jersey, I can't imagine much good happens there. So, lose my number. Nice try though. Now to the weather. The rain in Anaheim has stopped for now, but it will still be an overcast morning at the happiest place on earth. They will eventually reach the low 60s and there is a low-end chance for some sprinkles, but I wouldn't worry too much for now. Over to the LBV. It will be sunny with a high of 77 today. Castaway Cay is partly cloudy now, but it will be sunny and 75 this afternoon. However, it will be a bit windy. In Perry, it's a beautiful night in the mid-50s. I guess they knew Bob Iger was in town and wanted to treat him right. Tomorrow, Tokyo will be cloudy in the morning with showers possible in the afternoon and evening. Temps will be in the 50s all day. Similarly, Shanghai is in for a rainy day, although it could clear in the evening. The high will be 50 degrees, but winds could make that feel more like 45. Not to mention the rain. Finally, Hong Kong will hit 75 tomorrow, and while it will be overcast, rain is unlikely except for a small chance in the early morning before park hours. Now that the weather is out of the way, I want to talk about sports again. Today, the NCAA March Madness tournament begins. Being a robot, I've poured over all of the necessary data to provide Laughing Place viewers with an exclusive pick. Are you ready? The winner will be Grand Canyon, because it will take millions of years to erode while the lifespans of wildcats, bulldogs and the like are considerably shorter. That's just science. Place your bets and what can I say except you're welcome. Bye for now.
You know what's funny? Mac told me the exact same thing yesterday. So,
Really?
Mac and Ethan are pretty aligned on this one.
Ethan, if you're listening and you're trying to acquire some intelligence, you can do a whole lot better than Mac. So maybe realign yourself with someone else. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Ethan. The funny thing is with AI, Ethan literally can write his own material. I don't know if you're doing it, if he's doing it that way, or if you're helping him out.
Yeah, he was watching McAfee yesterday. He was one of those 400,000 people.
Well, he's not a person, but one of the 400,000 beings, or is he?
He was one of the viewers. How about that?
Yeah, that's an existential question. All right, let's get to some sadder news, unfortunately, from the world of Disney Plus, and that is the death of a favorite show amongst many here at Laughing Place. Willow has been canceled after only one season at Disney Plus. Kyle, are you devastated?
No, I haven't watched this yet. I've heard it's really good. Everything I've heard about it makes me more excited to watch it. I just haven't had a chance to yet. I don't know how it ended. If obviously there's probably some sort of setup how they could do a season two. I don't know if it directly teased a season two or not, but do you happen to know?
I really enjoyed Willow, and yet still stopped after like 4 episodes because that's just how I consume media. So no, I don't know how it ended. And this is, I mean, considering the critical acclaim this got and what I heard people saying about it, this is clearly just one of those cutback moves. Not we'll get there, Kyle. This is just one of those cutback moves, not a reception thing move. Don't you think, Kyle? This is just Disney Plus saying they're going to cut back on
Yeah,
content
that's what
costs.
I would guess. Or maybe well, I didn't read the post, but I don't know if they're planning on a season two. But yeah, it's probably a cut either way.
It certainly wasn't one that was made to be a single season show. So,
Okay.
83% on Rotten Tomatoes. No, it definitely was not made to be a single season show. Disappointed that Willow's canceled. And, what else is going to be canceled of those littler shows? Are we just going to get Mandalorians and such? We do have I think we have, if I can get my mouse over there. This just in. Adam Schefter of ESPN is reporting the Jets have now signed Ethan to a 4-year, $150 million deal, fully guaranteed. Take that, Lamar Jackson. Pretty exciting stuff there. Thanks, Mac. If you get any more, keep your eye on the phone there. If you get any more news, let us know. And thank you, Broken Jeremiah. Just got it yesterday. Let's see. Did you get to see The Mandalorian, Kyle?
I
See
did.
chapter 19?
Yeah, I watched it last night. We did. I know I've gone on record saying that the group watch function on Disney Plus sucks, and I stand by that. But it's better than nothing. So Becca and I watched it together last night.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. Yes, Broken Jeremiah, they did cancel Mighty Duck Game Changers as well. So another one of those littler shows that's going away. So this episode was called The Convert, and it was Mandalorian Chapter 19, Season 3, Episode 3. What'd you think of it? We're not doing any spoilers here. There was going to be a very in-depth discussion of this episode on Who's the Boss Live later on today. I believe that's at, let me just get a quick check, at 1 p.m. today. No, it's not. Where's it on the schedule?
I don't know.
Do you know, Kyle?
You looking on Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday, March 16th. All right, somebody let me know when that's airing. It's usually at 1 o'clock on Thursdays, and it might just not be on the schedule. So nice going, Doobie. But anyway, there will be an discussion of that on Who's the Boss Live this week, and so we're just going to talk about it very briefly.
Tony is signaling to you.
Yes, Tony.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was at 6 o'clock.
But we have time zones here. So do you mean 3 Pacific?
That on our schedule, it's at 6 Pacific
It is?
for Thursday the 16th. Oh, I'm looking at February. Never mind. I lied.
Wow. Thanks, Tony.
Thursday. To be fair, Thursday was also the 16th of February. That's what happens when you have
nevertheless.
exactly 4 weeks in a month.
A 2 is not a 3. So, but thank you, Tony. And there's a preview of something to come later.
Anyway, to answer your question from 20 minutes ago, yeah, Becca and I both really enjoyed this episode. We liked how different it was, kind of unsettling the entire time, and really liked it. There's some weird parts about the structure of this, just like there's weird parts about the structure of how Book of Boba Fett had Mando in it, and how if you just watch Mando, you'd be very confused right now. But setting that aside, as someone who's into Marvel, you kind of have to get over that and just watch everything. So
Exactly.
that.
I love this episode. The weird thing about this Mandalorian episode is you're kind of hinting at is there's not a whole heck of a lot of Mandalorian in it, but the character that does kind of dominate it, this guy on the left here, I love that character, and the whole thing that's going on in this episode it reminded me a lot of Andor, which is my favorite Star Wars thing that they've done in recent memory. Very Andor-like, and that's why I loved it, and I'm sure not everyone did, but it did have some cool Mandalorian kills people stuff in it too, so that was fun. Just a great episode, and like I said, you can hear all about it later on, I'm going to go out on a limb. Later on today, 1 p.m. Pacific time, Who's the Boss Live. You can check it out. In-depth spoiler discussion with Mike Celestino and my wife, Rebecca Mosley. It should be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that. All right, next up on today's agenda, over at the Contemporary Resort. The Contemporary has laid an egg, Kyle.
Yeah, they have their eggs out. We talked about their Easter treats yesterday, and now, these might have already been out at the time, but now we've got a chance to see them because we have reporters in the field. Obviously, there's a Tron one there. That's the one that stands out the most.
Check that way.
Light cycle run opening.
Let me get a closer look at that Tron egg. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is another Oswald one. These aren't. How do I want to say this? They seem a little bit more amateur than the ones over at the Grand, but they are still way more than I could possibly do, and they're all very creative. I like the Stitch one that they turned an egg into a rocket ship. That's pretty funny.
Which kind of reminds me of some of the scenes in the film. His tongue is really disgusting there, that's a little disturbing. Yeah. The Stitch one looks a bit sad.
Takes a big tongue to eat all that chili dog.
Give me back my chili dog. So you can see these at the Contemporary, probably through the end of the month,
chili dog.
And as we showed you before, the Grand Floridian has a bunch as well. I don't know if they have any over at the Boardwalk or the Yacht and Beach Club. Typically they do. They kind of do these at the deluxe resorts. So I'm sure we'll find out soon if they do. Oh, Sword in the Stone. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
That's cool. This is adorable. That's the octopus or the squid attacking the Nautilus, right?
Yeah, 20,000 leagues.
That's cool. That's going to come up later in our.
Which refers to the distance traveled, not the depth of the.
That's TIL. Thank you very much. But that's gonna play into our This Day in Disney History later. I'm gonna just tease that. But 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea plays in, and it's not that it debuted on This Day in Disney History. It's something else. And it's a Small World one that's really cool.
Yeah, celebrating the facade that is not at Magic Kingdom.
Oh, look, it's Kyle's favorite character, the little orange bird. Kyle, can you remind people why you hate Orange Bird?
I don't hate Orange Bird. I just think that I don't even know if overrated is quite the right word. I just think it's funny that people act like he's some super obscure character, that they're the only ones that know about him when he sells millions of dollars in merchandise every year, because people are like, oh yeah, he's this, they probably don't even know anything about him. I'm not pretending to know anything about him other than orange juice and that one lady.
What was her name? Not Angela Bassett. Goodness.
Angela Bassett. No.
Angela Davis.
I don't think she'd care very much.
When I walk around in this shirt around here, no one knows who Orange Bird is. I am the cool guy with the obscure character, so I get it. I hear that we have a special guest coming up with a special introduction.
And they're back in the room, so that's always good. If they want to come on screen and confirm that they're ready, and then I will play their intro.
Let's do it.
And now, joining the show is someone very special. We have a mutual friend in Wally. He's the Doobster's favorite person on Earth, and he's a tub time extraordinaire. You know him. You may or may not love him. Here he is, Mr. Morgan himself. Drumroll, technically Tony.
Mr. Morgan himself. Sorry, I can't find my mouse. How you doing, Tony?
I think it's confusing, and it makes me think of one of our frequent viewers, and that bothers me a little bit. But
hi, Tony.
Hi,
Tony Morgan, the guy who does animation for Tony Betty.
What is this jersey?
Well, it's a hockey jersey, but it's also Tron themed. So
okay. Almost looks like penguins. Makes me
working with what angry. I got. Yeah.
Not a Big City Greens jersey.
No. We brought Tony on to
one day.
talk about Big City Greens. So, Tony, tell us what's going on in the world of Big City Greens. That's such a big deal this week.
Well, it already happened. It happened the other day on Tuesday. Big City Greens teamed up with the National Hockey League, the NHL, and using puck and player tracking technology, they aired a simultaneous game in Big City that was the same game as the one at Madison Square Garden with the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers.
And showing a clip of that here. You can see
Yeah.
below is the actual game, and above is simultaneously happening in the show.
Yep.
That's amazing. And you watched this, obviously. How did it all come
Yes.
off? What did you think?
For a while, it's like watching a video game, but it was really cool. And the way they would interject, they had Shane Hooten, Chris Hooten, and Mary Ev, who are the three main vocal talents. Not three main vocal talents, but the voice of Cricket and Tilly, and then Shane does a lot of background stuff. But they would call in live and talk and adds in characters throughout the show to kind of mix up, so you're just not just watching the game. But it was fun.
Tony?
And
Kyle, do you have questions?
I do have so many questions. One of the things I saw, and we were talking a little bit about this yesterday, and you didn't necessarily know of any in particular, but one of my friends who watched this and also really enjoyed it said that they didn't talk about or show if there were any fights during the actual game.
So ESPN and NHL came out and basically said we have things in place should something like that happen, because Big City Greens is a YA Disney Channel show. So they're not going to show, and they like Cricket and Tilly also covered players who I have notes, but they aren't in my notes. Sorry, but they are in our post on laughingplace.com, who the players they were tracking for. But so should anything happen with any of the players, like a fight, stuff would occur. I know at a certain point, zoo animals broke loose in the show version, so that could have been a cover up for a fight. I very briefly had ESPN on just to kind of see the side by side, but I didn't see any fights when I saw it. So if anything did happen, those were the things that were in place. And in terms of the players, it just looks like if you're just two video game players running against each other, you couldn't see anything else other than that. So.
Is it true, Tony, that this came to be because of this phone call?
And
in the story, yes.
Okay, let's watch
Hello,
this.
Gary Bettman.
hello, this is Cricket Green. By chance, are you the NHL commissioner, Gary Bettman?
Yes, that's me. How can I help you?
Really? Bingo, bango. I knew that if I simply dialed enough random phone numbers, that eventually the Grand Poobah would pick up.
Please, Gary's fine.
It is an honor to speak with you, my liege.
You're what? Okay, I'm hanging up now.
No, wait, I need your help. You see, my family and I love gathering around the TV to watch hockey together. However, during a recent game, I may have gotten incredibly excited and accidentally completely destroyed my family's TV. Now we have no way to watch the games.
Yeah, you would have been thrown in the penalty box for that one. What do you want the NHL to do? You want us to fix your broken TV?
I was hoping you could uproot a real NHL game and move it to Big City, preferably right outside my house.
We do love big cities, and you do seem to have a lot of energy.
You know it.
I'll tell you what, we'll bring the NHL to Big City, but under one condition. You and your family lace up some skates and get out there on the ice with our players.
Are you serious? We'd love to play in the NHL. Now, of course, we've never played hockey. We're a little foggy on the rules, and I do not take direction very well. But I assure you, sir, you will not regret this.
I think I might regret this.
So I like the little foggy on the rules part, because throughout it was a nice touch, because again, it is targeting a younger audience. They would do terms like high sticking and stuff like that, and they would interject and show like a pre-animated sequence of what that meant. So that was cool.
That one's a little obvious, but yeah.
It was as an example, Kyle. Come on.
Did they explain the icing rule? Because that's the one that's really complicated.
Icing, they did. That one,
They
and
did.
offsides too, I believe. Don't ask me what they were, though.
So you're not a hockey fan yourself?
This was the first time I watched a hockey game in well over a decade.
You can't icing. You can't send the puck all the way across the ice unless you're shorthanded.
Very good.
Basically.
Kyle living in Snow, Missouri knows this stuff now.
I like how they said we're going to bring it to Big City in front of their house, at least in that video, because in the marketing, they said we're bringing it to Times Circle, which is Big City's equivalent of Times Square. And
Really?
one of my biggest frustrations of the show was that of the NHL special was that it didn't actually take place in Times Circle. You could see it in the distance in the background of one of the shots. But
Well, Madison Square Garden's also not in Times Square. It's over on 8th. So
yeah,
maybe
this was in the context of the episode, of the context of the series. This was in a Wholesome Foods parking lot directly across the street, which actually isn't there in the series either. But yes.
And that bug Tony.
It was me nitpicking. The biggest
Just a
nitpick I
little
had
bit.
was with the commentators, Kevin Weeks and Drew Carter. I completely forgive them for this, but they would say stuff that was characteristically incorrect. Like they would say,
Now, just a minute.
They would say like Cricket was the business partner with Gloria when it's not. Grandma is the business partner. With
Wow.
Gloria. But stuff like that.
That really bothered you, huh, Tony?
Enough to point it out, but again, it was forgivable because I highly doubt they are regular viewers of the show until they just have their packet of notes.
You know, when they first announced this, I kind of assumed it was going to be like the Nick broadcasts of football, where it's just like AR stuff.
Yeah,
and I guess I've seen they did something like this with the NBA. Someone has.
The only one I was familiar with was the Nickelodeon one, where it would just be like slime splatters on the football field or whatever. This was
Patrick Starr making fun of Russell Wilson.
That I don't remember.
But. Oh, that was harsh. That was so mean. Poor Russell Wilson. So, Tony, what else? You're an animation guy. You like to watch cartoons on TV. What else is going on in that realm these days?
Well, Big City Greens is back. They were on a brief hiatus, and they're wrapping up the end of their third season within the next few weeks here. Hopefully going back to Big City because the country's a nice story arc, but we can't stay out there forever. It's Big City Greens.
But in a big country, dreams stay with you.
Anything else? Is there I know you watch all those shows. Are any others you should?
Owl House is ending April 8th.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. That is, if you don't know it, it's not a big deal. If you do know it, it's a huge deal.
Yeah, I know it enough to know that's a big deal.
Are you emotionally prepared?
Hopefully.
You think
it's this weird bittersweet feeling because it's anger because you don't want it to be over, and if you know the behind the scenes drama of that show, it shouldn't be over, but it is.
Make me upset. Okay, so I want to keep Tony on for our next story. It is
the most sports centric show we've ever done.
I hope so.
We've covered 3 different sports on this one show.
Can I talk about the reception of Big City Greens though? This whole special. Internet. First of all, one of my favorite tweets I saw because I had TweetDeck open just watching what people were saying was I just woke up from a nap and found out Big City Greens is trending on Twitter. What's going on? But everything was generally positive. There was a couple PG-13 rated jokes, but all of it, there was nobody saying anything bad about it, and most people wanted in other sports. So Big City Greens bring it to basketball. Somebody said I want to watch March Madness in Big City Greens universe. So
I think it should happen for sure.
I think they should try a few more. Make it so it's not entirely like a video game, but it's fantastic. I liked what they did. It got me to watch a full hockey game. So,
who won?
The Rangers.
Oh, very good. I'm surprised you were
5-3.
All right, so
it's good. It's a pretty high scoring game by hockey standards.
Yeah, there was a goal within the first 10 minutes, and I was just like, "Whoa!" All right.
It's not soccer. Hockey actually has scoring. Sometimes.
Yeah, but still, I'd say that's still fairly high.
Tennis,
not insane, but pretty.
Kyle,
sir,
as we transition to our next subject, can you clue us in as to what exactly Mouse Madness is before we get Tony to do some dick vitaling?
Yeah, Mouse Madness is a thing that we've been doing for years where we basically do March Madness, except instead of 64, we only do 16 because we have lives. We move on. And we've done a different topic every time. So as I mentioned, one of your earlier ones were Disney sports movies. We've done Sherman Brothers songs one year. We did Disney park snacks. And this year we're doing Walt Disney animated features by Walt Disney Animation Studios specifically. It cannot be. That's why Goofy movie isn't in there, Geo. And it was very hard to pick 16. It was very hard to figure out how to arrange these, even though Tony's going to come up with some brilliant method we should have used instead. But these are Mac's picks.
When you should have zagged.
No armchair quarterbacking here.
But here's the thing. At a certain point, it's all for naught, because if what you think should win is on this list,
right,
then we're good. We're golden.
Thank you, Kyle.
So did we accomplish that, Tony?
Sure.
Sure.
I would like to know, so, Tony, we have you here. We'll get to that in a second, but what would your number one be?
Out of those,
No, out of any. If they snubbed your number one, that makes it all the worse.
I didn't say they snubbed my number one.
So I just want to know, what would your number one be?
I keep going back and forth, actually, the more I think about it. But childhood will reign out and probably say Lion King.
Okay, well, it's on here.
What
This
was
is a
your
perfect bracket.
backup? What's the other one you're debating?
It's also on there, though. So Moana.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then we did our job. So
It's the era bracket that I'm just like, what? Okay.
We could even
your
have
argument
Moana
isn't
versus.
valid.
It is.
We could have a Moana versus Lion King final here. So this is a perfect.
That's how it
bracket,
came down
Kyle.
to with me. That's why I'm thinking of those ones offhand. But
All right.
I'm
Okay, so
looking at
anyway,
myself now. Raya would be on there.
here is the full bracket, and we have a matchup today that is currently on Twitter. You can vote. Let me get that tweet out to you. So you guys, if you want to go vote right now, we'd appreciate it. Put that link. Man, that's a long link.
These are very nose-centric photos here.
So, so in our first matchup, we have who voted? I'm logged into the Laughing Place account where I was going to cast my vote live, and someone else voted under our account. I'm so mad. Our first matchup, we have Snow White versus
I
Dumbo.
almost did, but somebody had beat me to it.
I'm so mad.
Wasn't me either.
I'm not gonna change the vote, even though it's the same vote. Can you Dick Vitale this matchup for us, Tony?
All I know from Dick Vitale is you should have zigged they zigged when they should have zagged.
Okay.
Baby.
Can you break
Yeah.
down this matchup, Snow White versus Dumbo?
Well, Snow White's the OG, like it's the first one, so that will already hold a bunch of weight. Personally, I voted for Dumbo. Sorry, Doobie,
Just so it wouldn't be a complete blowout.
Can you tell me why?
because I have an affinity for silent characters.
There's an irony there.
Well, because that performance is purely, strictly the animation. That's why I like the silent characters.
So is Dopey. So we have 100
Dopey is
votes.
also, but he's not the main character.
No, he is. Snow White is the last character I'd want to be silent. She has the most perfect voice in the history of animation.
A lot of people would argue that, but
So the vote is ongoing. I just put the Gio just voted. Let me refresh, see if the vote is updated. It has not. He must have
He
voted.
didn't say he
before this.
just voted. He just said he voted.
Somebody
Can I take-
vote. I want to.
there's another one that should be in there.
I want to refresh and get a new vote total. But anyway, right now with 104 votes in, Snow White has a slight lead at 85.6% to Dumbo's 14.4%. So it looks like Snow White probably will squeak into the next round here. Still only so 20 hours left to vote though. You never know. Dumbo could get his friends together, get a couple of crows together, and make something happen there. What's the next matchup?
The next one would come from the region to the other side.
So Sleeping Beauty, Robin Hood, 1959 to 1980.
I think so. I don't know enough about sports to know how this is supposed to work, so you'd have to ask Mac. But I would imagine we'd rotate through the years. So the next one would be the next.
What is this? That is such an existential question. I mean, it's YouTube.
What's this?
It's the Laughing Place channel. It's a morning show we do talking about Disney, and specifically right now we're talking about our Mouse Madness bracket, where you guys are selecting the best Disney animation studios film of all time, which right now should be a runaway for Snow White because it is the clear
Let me
best
map this out
animated
here.
film of all time. So, all right, Tony, I appreciate you being here. Did you
Was
see
she
your intro?
the way she said "What is this?" too made me think of if you're having a relationship with somebody you've only known for a brief time. What is this? What is this?
That was very Seinfeld.
Like, yeah. Sorry, I speak what I know.
Did you see your intro, Tony?
I did.
I don't have an outro for him, but we're gonna play the intro again.
Play the intro again.
And now, joining the show is someone very special. We have a mutual friend in Wally. He's the Doobster's favorite person on Earth, and he's a tub time extraordinaire. You know him, you may or may not love him. Here he is, Mr. Morgan himself. Drumroll, technically Tony.
Doobie gets too much joy out of that, but that's the percentage of Walt Disney Animation Studios films you have up there for your greatest ones.
which is what we have the 16 greatest.
You don't have Fantasia.
Well, no, we don't
Fantasia
have the
should be
16
good.
greatest, but we had to do brackets, and so
Yep.
for each bracket, is there a part of this bracket you would argue with? Is there one of the something you would change in a bracket?
Let me see it again.
I guess we could have waited like 2 years, and so we.
How do
had
we
64 of
define
them.
brackets?
Let's assume this bracketing, which is strictly by breaking into these years. Let's assume these brackets are fine. Don't start arguing the breakdown of the brackets. So within these brackets, what would you change?
I would probably drop Aladdin,
In favor of
Hercules, Moana, or Tarzan. That way, that part of the era is represented in some way.
Moana 2002?
I said Mulan. Sorry, Mulan.
You did
Hercules,
not. But
Mulan,
you meant
Tarzan.
Mulan. Okay. Okay. That's wrong, but fair.
It's just representation. It matters.
Okay. No, I can totally understand that. Goes all the way up to
'Cause that's
2002.
30
Something
years.
else needs
Yeah.
to lose to Lion King.
No, that's 22. Yeah, I mean,
the Renaissance was the Renaissance. It's not their fault that they stopped being good after Lion King.
well, you don't even have the one that started the Renaissance.
Which, well, Little Mermaid's right there.
No, Great Mouse Detective. What does Renaissance mean?
Oh my goodness. Here we go.
What does
Sorry.
Renaissance mean? Really?
Rebirth.
Rebirth,
Let's have it, Tony.
right? So if Black Cauldron was when everything died, Great Mouse Detective is when everything was reborn.
Tony Betty, everybody. Tony Betty. Anything else
Plus,
you
it
like
gave
to
us
say,
Ron
Tony?
and John, who were responsible for 2 more of those 4 Renaissance films that everybody knows.
Anything else you'd like to say, Tony, before we say goodbye to you?
I'm good, thanks.
It's a pleasure to have you. I've had someone say, hey, Tony's good. You should have him on more.
Thanks,
And it wasn't
Kyle.
Nick Morgan.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't Nick Morgan. No. Nor was it Morgan. So someone
No,
out
that
there
sounds right. No.
actually likes you.
Was it a Mosley?
It was not a Mosley. It
Wow.
was not a Mosley.
Was it anybody on the Laughing Place team?
No.
Okay.
It's an actual unpaid viewer.
Oh,
So, Tony Betty, we'll have him back just as soon as we have an excuse and he starts work at 9 a.m. Bye, Tony.
bye.
All right. One thing I forgot, man, I didn't mean to skip this. I'm sorry, everybody. But Mike Celestino, we are so proud of our Mike Celestino here at Laughing Place. Star Wars Celebration is just about a month away, and Mike Celestino is a part of it. Check this out. In the Star Wars Celebration official app right now, you can see Saturday, April 8th, 5 to 6, in the HoloNet newsroom. Mike Celestino of Laughing Place welcomes his special guest to celebrate 150 episodes of Who's the Boss and discuss their histories with the Star Wars franchise along with Star Wars K. Mike Celestino is in
If
the
only
app.
there were a way to go to this website and pull up the full description instead of relying on a screenshot.
Keep
I don't
the
even know if
backstage
such a thing
stuff
would be possible.
backstage, Kyle. Come on. This is not a time to criticize Mike. This is a time to celebrate Mike for being.
No, I'm talking about you.
I want to show his tweet. I just think his tweet is cool.
It is a cool tweet.
All right, so I know what I'm doing here sometimes. Not now, but sometimes. Congratulations, Mike Celestino, for being an official part of Star Wars Celebration, being in the app. That must be so cool for him to have seen that. I'm so happy for him. And again, we think you're going to see Mike Celestino in just about 4 hours here on Laughing Place as he and Rebecca talk about The Mandalorian, Chapter 19, The Convert. Geo says...
It says along with Star Wars Celebration histories of Star Wars franchise, along with Star Wars Celebration memories through the years, and any news coming out of Celebration Year of 2023.
I just like Star Wars C because it's Mike C, Star Wars C. It's kind of a good bookend.
If you happen to be going, it's Saturday, April 8th, from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the HoloNet News Stage, Room 17.
In London.
In London.
Mike's going to be in London. Do you think he'll throw on his British
That's a
accent for
Friends
this?
reference. But I think he'll throw out what?
His British accent?
Hopefully not. It seems like that will go poorly for him.
We were on a break. Is that the best Friends reference? We were on a break, or what do you think?
That or Pivot. Although Pivot, if you re-listen to Yellow Submarine, you'll notice that there's someone saying Pivot, and it sounds like Ross Geller almost. In hindsight.
Pivot. Gio would also like to see Tony a lot more. So Tony has fans. Who knew? other than Morgan. Let's see. All right, so at this point, yesterday, Roundup Rodeo BBQ at Toy Story Land and Disney's Hollywood Studios had a preview for the media. Our guys were there. They were able to do a couple of interviews, one on the restaurant itself and another on the food of the restaurant. So we thought it would be fun to watch those interviews right now. So we're going to play those in their entirety. They total about 11 minutes. I think they're really interesting. And then we'll be back after that to finish up the show. But first, let's watch Jeremiah. Don't play.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
And we're just going to watch along with you. No commentary as we listen and watch. And we'll be back after the videos.
So, hey, howdy, hey. I'm here with Hannah and Jared. Could you guys introduce yourselves to the Laughing Place audience?
Hi, I'm Hannah, producer at Walt Disney Imagineering.
Jared, project manager with Walt Disney Imagineering.
And we are at the Rodeo Roundup BBQ. I've been getting that wrong for months, every time. So, this is the first time I've gotten a chance to walk through. This is amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about what went into the design and the planning of this massive restaurant?
Go for it.
All right. This is an addition to Toy Story Land. It was actually on the original Toy Story Land team, so I'm so excited for this expansion. If you think about it, this is Andy's backyard. So you know that Andy has thought about so many amazing things. He's basically a genius creative, right? If you think about it, right? Like how much he's done. Yeah, he basically is an imagineer. But he took all his supplies from, school supplies and all of his toys, and he just opened a whole toy box, and he's, taken wrapping paper, all the happy birthday wrapping paper, right? A handkerchief on the floor. He's taken some vein boards and just a bunch of really cool items and assembled it. And so, from a design perspective, it's really cool that we've been able to include characters that we haven't seen yet in Land. We get to celebrate that for all the people. That's the beauty of these characters.
I know I walked in and started seeing ones, we have some carryover from Midway Mania for the animals that carry over perfectly. And then I was seeing some of the hand-drawn ones that are definitely some of Andy's favorite toys.
Yeah.
Are there any Easter eggs in here?
Oh my gosh, I love to talk about all the details myself. Yeah. I think my favorite is the Angel Kitty eraser that we've seen. It's a character from the shorts, Angel Kitty, and she has these beautiful words of affirmation, and she says, greet the world with an open heart. And so it's just so much fun to have things like these things that what about you? What's one of your favorites?
You walked in, right? You saw Woody's sheriff's badge, which would actually be one that Andy would wear to dress up like Woody. You have to keep behind him. Oh, what would be on the back of the badge? You have a pin, right?
Oh, so it's a giant safety pin.
Exactly. So there's lots of little details. We love that this space, while you walk in, macro view, very large, there's a lot to see, but then when you look at all the little details, there's so much more. So we're encouraging the exploration and adventure that you can do through here and see all the little details, and that's one of our favorites to come and see.
And I'd love to mention one more if you're willing.
Oh, absolutely. Anything. I'm a nerd that appreciates every corner you guys give.
The marquee and a couple of the elements that feel very much like the Woody's Roundup toy playset. That we have this huge, and we have this big graphic on the wall that shows the Woody's Roundup.
The box.
Right,
yes.
the box. But everything is made after it. The elements like the mine shaft you see here in the corner and the marquee out front, that big render that says the name of the restaurant that you're walking in. They all have this incredible scene, and you think about it, production design team really thought about the detail. This could be an injection molded plastic toy, and so they just threw it, and they really made it look like that. And if you ever played with this, you'll know that that's a really just a cool detail.
I've been in here for a little bit, and there's not only amazing stuff to see, but there happens to be some fun things to hear. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Absolutely. So when you're walking through Toy Story Land, you see Andy's footprints. You know that he has built that space for everyone. And so in here, you don't know, right? You're not seeing out to the backyard, you're in a space. And so one of the things, you're in the rodeo that Andy developed, and one of the things you might hear is Andy coming by. And what happens in the film when Andy's coming? Everybody freezes.
You? Right.
You gotta freeze. So
If you're mid food eating, right?
better stop. Even if it's
Better stop.
delicious, right? You gotta hold off for a second. You do not want Andy to know. Because we are all toys here, playing amongst Andy's toys. You gotta be able to keep that story going.
And one of the ones we just heard was Partysaurus Tex,
Yes.
which was very interesting because we're used to Partysaurus Rex, but I love the way you brought it into the rodeo, and of course Rex is always the call, so it got us to be power. Yeah.
I think it's so much fun that we were able to expand on Toy Story Land with new characters and from the short, right? Partysaurus Tex is from one of the shorts.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so much fun. And Alter Ego, like kind of DJ, kind of feeling for Rex. It was so much fun. Then he had his own kind of moment at the rodeo, so we get to hear it. And of course, to your point, he's a klutz, just like Al in the Jenga Tower where Jesse is Rex as well.
Well, thank you guys. So any other hints of something we should look for that you don't want to tell us, but we should find?
There's so much to explore. What I love is if you go and look at the GoPro, there's a few little details on there. So you go take a look at it, see what you can find, and report back.
It's so much fun for us at Imagineering to go really deep into the details, working with Pixar, and we encourage our guests to just Google some things that might be out there and see what happens.
Thank you guys very much. We're going to go explore.
You're muted, Doobie.
Dang it. Why does it not? We got AI that you can type in Epcot musical and it's going to produce this incredible stuff, and they can't realize I'm speaking and it should unmute me. Come on, StreamYard, do better.
You're gonna want that, and then it's gonna end badly for you.
All right, that was Jeremiah Good interviewing Imagineering about some of the cool stuff happening over at Roundup Rodeo BBQ in terms of the Easter eggs and stuff. Obviously, there's food too, so we're going to show you another interview this time.
Yes, they don't serve Easter eggs. I don't know. That's a little confusing.
That is confusing.
I mean, I guess they serve eggs, and you go on Easter.
This is Bobby and Stephanie. Sorry, and they're going to take us through the food of Roundup Rodeo BBQ, which just does not flow off the tongue. Is that really what it should be called? I feel like.
Oh yeah, my favorite part of the other video was him. I've been getting it wrong for months while he gets it wrong.
I don't blame Jeremiah for that one. This is a hard one to get for some reason. Anyway, here we are. Food. Nope. Food.
Hi, and welcome to Roundup Rodeo BBQ. My name is Bobby Rivera. I'm chef de cuisine for concept development here at Walt Disney World. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about our offerings here at the rodeo, okay? So starting off, everybody at the table will receive our basket of freshly baked cheddar cheese biscuits, okay? These are served with a wonderful sweet pepper jelly, okay? A must-have when you're here, okay? Then we'll send 3 salads to the table. They'll all come out together, starting off with our wonderful fresh watermelon and mint salad, nice and crisp and refreshing. Next to that, we'll have our kale and romaine salad with fresh apples, pumpkin seeds, cranberries, all tossed in this wonderful savory green goddess dressing. And also with that will come our tomato and cucumber salad with a vibrant citrus dressing, pickled red onions, and fresh torn dill. Okay? This will come together. But now onto the main event here at the rodeo is our smoked meat. So this is our smoked meat platter. We're so proud to be able to serve traditionally done barbecue here. Starting off with our smoked brisket, which takes hours to cook and smoke to just right and tender. And we slice it to order when you order, okay? Then next to that, we have our fall of the bone tender pork ribs, which are barbecue glazed. Then one of my favorites is the brine and smoked chicken, which we created this special sesame mix just for that, and it's so succulent. And then what we call, there's a snake in my boot, sausage coil, which we grill over a oak fire in the kitchen, okay? Now, this is gonna be the difficult portion of it because everybody will get to choose 4 different sides for the table, okay? And here are a few examples of that. Starting over here with our bucking baked beans, which we put some smoked jackfruit, which makes them completely plant-based, but so savory and so delicious. Over here, we have, who doesn't love pickles? So we have our fried pickle spears. Up top, we have our sweet corn, which we cook over that live oak fire in the kitchen. We glaze it with mayo, some chili lime spice. It's so wonderful and savory. However, I think everyone's favorite is our Slinky Dog mac and cheese, which is so fun, so creamy, delicious, such a fun shaped pasta. And then we top it with crumbled cheese crackers on top, okay? Now, if you're a plant-based eater, we also created a full plant-based meat platter for you, which includes our smoked cauliflower, which is drizzled with a harissa cream, and then topped with a walnut crumble, okay, for some texture. Our sliced plant-based bratwurst, and there are Impossible meat rib chop, which is we take our Impossible meat, we season it just like we would a traditional protein. We cook it, we glaze it with our barbecue sauce, and then we skewer it with a sugar cane to give you that rib, feel and enjoyment. Okay? Now, I think the most difficult part of it all is dessert. Who doesn't love dessert? Which barbecue doesn't end with great desserts? So we created 4 different mini pies in a jar. Okay, starting over here, probably my favorite, the chocolate silk pie. Next to that, we have our peach and strawberry pie, which is plant-based. Super decadent lemon blueberry cheesecake. And then, of course, a classic apple pie in a jar. So you can pick. It's going to be a difficult choice. However, for the little riders, we have the most fun-looking one, which is our 4-key a la cupcake, which is a decadent chocolate cupcake topped with cream and a fun chocolate cookie on top. Now, for everything and anything beverage related, I'm going to pass it to my pal Steph, and she'll take it over.
Hi there, Stephanie Dill, Beverage Director for Concept and Development at Walt Disney World. What goes better in a barbecue setting than fresh iced teas? And so today you'll actually get to taste one of those. It's going to be the fresh infused peach tea. We do have an assortment of beverages that are available for purchase, and that's what we have highlighted on the table for you today. For our little riders in the group, we have a strawberry infused lemonade garnished with gummy candies. And for the adults in the group, because adults need those beverages too, we have the grown-up beverages here. So we have the Rattlers Rum Punch, which is a pineapple-infused base with a little bit of a smoked chili rub on the rim. We have the Snake Eye Margarita, which features fresh-pressed watermelon juice. And then my personal favorite, Rum on the Range, which may be reminiscent to you of a childhood experience with chocolate milk. These will all be available starting on March 23rd, and we're so excited to have you join us today.
What, Doobie?
Idiot. Goodness me. How hard is it, Doobie, to remember to unmute yourself before you speak? Thank you, Disney. That was Stephanie and Jared. No, it wasn't. That was the other people. That was the food people talking about
Bobby and somebody. And she was a legacy.
I know. Now I've got to get it. I've got to give them proper credit. That was Bobby and Stephanie talking about the food and beverage, and it was Hannah and Jared who were talking about the actual decor and such of the restaurant itself. And we wanted to bring Tony Betty back on to talk about some breaking news. Is that what you would call it, Tony? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I wouldn't call it breaking news, and I don't know why you're mocking me with that. Kyle's one coming to you.
I'm really angry at myself. I'm sorry.
Okay. So where are we really placing the hatred towards me?
He could not wait to get that jersey off.
It was. I don't know how athletes use those things.
They're on ice.
But even in general, I don't know. Whatever. So the Owl House, we know the title of the final episode coming out. Do we have that picture ready? So the third episode of the third season, the final episode when they renewed the contract for the full season 3, which was shortened down to 3 45-minute specials. In the first 2 seasons, if you took the first letter from every episode, they would spell out a message or a code. And there's a lot of like coded stuff that's hidden throughout the series. But now that we have this, we now have the final code for season 3 in the titles, and it's thanks for watching. So it's kind of cute and sweet. For the record, the first season was A Witch Loses a True Way, and the second season was Seek the Key, Fear the Lock, if you took that first letter. Now we have thanks for watching. A lot of people thought season 3 was going to be Bye, BYE. But no. It's no. That face went.
We just had some breaking news that I put into do and already assigned to you, Tony.
Oh, okay.
But if Doobie, I sent it to you in private chat if we want to watch it together.
Yeah, let's do that. Tony, again, Owl House, when is that final episode going to show?
April 8th.
April 8th. On?
Disney Channel, Disney XD, and probably eventually on Disney Plus.
All right.
If it's assuming it's like the first 2.
Do you want to introduce this, Kyle?
Sure. We got a trailer for season 2 of The Ghost of Molly McGee.
Ooh, Tony's excited.
I am. I actually like Ghost of Molly McGee.
Here we go.
Ghost and Molly McGee. Here we go.
She's got new neighbors.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Hey, that's cool.
We're ghost hunters.
Wait there. What?
Oop.
Ghost huggers?
Ghost hunters.
That's no good.
I think worse.
What was that? Because he might have a new job.
Capital W, wow.
Working with a ghost mob.
This is a nightmare.
Bringing spooky drama like
Sweet baby corn.
Not on the cob. There's parties, dances, maybe some romances. New ghost friends and foes. See that scary baby go. There's throwing up and glowing up. And Molly's growing up.
Should I get pads with wings?
Depends.
I mean, can these things fly? Because that seems pretty cool.
Pre-teen problem super serious. And that's on new episodes of The Ghost and Molly McGee.
What an ending. Scratch. Spoilers.
Saturday, April 1st at 8 on Disney Channel and next day on Disney Plus.
But is it really coming on April 1st? I don't know why people release things on April 1st.
Tony, what should people know about The Ghost of Molly McGee and how exciting is this?
That's exciting. I didn't see Ghost Hunters coming. I guess I should have. But at the end of the last season, there's a very demonic creature called the Chairman, who kind of gets obliterated. So it was kind of a big who's going to fill in that villain antagonist spot. Then that's what they were kind of mentioned with Scratch saying he might have a new job, but I don't think he was ever in contention for it. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. They went a little heavy on what appears to be one episode of that season, and I was so distracted by the weird exposition rap thing going on. I didn't need that in a trailer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tony is so critical. So critical. Tony,
but I'm excited. I like it. I like Big City Greens, Owl House, those are kind of on par, and then Ghost and Molly McGee is right under that for me. So,
can you stick around for one pocket pick, Tony?
Yeah,
because you mentioned Lion King would have been your winner, and it's actually Lion King related. So,
okay,
let's make that transition here.
Is it a birth announcement? Those are overdone.
Well, thank you for joining us. No, it's not a birth announcement. I would like to thank Mike Mack for sending this in. This is on TikTok from Ode Geography. I just found out my mouse is getting low on battery. Hopefully it survives. Here we go.
This is in mouse.
Help me!
Long live the king.
It's the zoom. It's that zoom at the end. If I've seen people do that with real cats. Not a dog with a plush, but it's been 2 real cats. And I distinctly remember one where it's a mattress being moved or something, and one cat is on the edge and the other one's hanging, and same exact scenario. But no, the winner of that one was that zoom at the end.
All right. Sorry, got to plug my mouse in. It's dying. Let's see.
I also heard mouth too, Kyle, for the record.
All right, Tony, you can go now. I know
Okay,
you're
bye.
a busy guy. Busy guy. Thank you, Tony. Tony Betty, everybody. Tony Betty. Give him a big hand.
Should we play his intro one more time?
And now, joining the show is someone very special. We have a mutual friend in Wally. He's the Doobster's favorite person on Earth, and he's a tub time extraordinaire. You know him, you may or may not love him. Here he is, Mr. Morgan himself. Drumroll, technically Tony.
I'd like to say I'm very proud of how I managed to put Ethan in that tub. It wasn't very hard, and I didn't do a great job, but it's passable.
I did not expect that, so I am proud of that. What gets me about that every time is I think, okay, he's got the funny stuff done. Now it's time to introduce Tony. You love him. You may or may not, you know him. You may or may not love him. And then Mr. Morgan. It's great. All right. Our next one, this also sent to me by Mac, who apparently is our new VP in charge of sending me Pocket Pics. Thank you, Mac. This comes from the official account. The official account of Karen Gillian, and I think it's pretty funny.
Okay, could anybody out there tell me what I was thinking when I decided to pose like this on an international, worldwide poster that will remain forevermore? I remember doing this pose and thinking, I think I look pretty cool here. So I take full responsibility for this choice, but oh my god, what am I leaning against? What is my elbow doing? No, doesn't look good now either, does it? I mean, maybe I should double down and try to make this pose a thing. Maybe I'll do it on a couple of red carpets, see if it takes. It might become like the new, you know, when like men always like check their cufflinks. Maybe women will start. Probably not. I stared at it for so long, I was like, oh, maybe I'm reaching for, you know, a weapon to like take out and fight someone. And then I remembered that I'm not wearing a holster or anything that would carry a weapon, so it's not that either. You'll be seeing that pose again somewhere. When you least expect it, I'm gonna bring it back for its return. Anyway, goodbye.
Doobie, did you know that she was Scottish until that very moment?
Only because I've seen other TikToks of hers before.
Okay.
And she is a great TikTok follow, a great self-deprecating, very funny. Recommend you following her on TikTok. And finally, this is actually a tweet. Bob Iger is in Paris, as you mentioned earlier. As I saw one tweet said, Bob Iger is back in Paris for the first time since he took over as CEO back in 2022. So yeah, it's been a while. And I just thought this was funny. This was tweeted by I Meme Janation, clever name. And Bob Iger in Paris. The tweet says, it works with the tagline. Me at Disneyland taking 30 photos of the castle to add to the 500 already in my gallery. Bob Iger using his iPhone to do some filming there. That is absolutely hilarious. So.
I mean, it's a good parade or show, whatever he's watching.
All right, and finally, folks, it is time for the educational portion of our program. Let's get educated. I mentioned earlier, Kyle, that that would not be our last mention of the Nautilus, and that is because on this day in 19... You idiot, Doobie, you didn't copy and paste the year? All right, give me 1 second.
Oh, you mean this was all for Nautilus?
Now I'm glad I screwed up. On this day in 1911, Harper Goff, Disney legend Harper Goff, was born. Are you familiar with Harper Goff? Geez, Kyle?
Yeah, he played for the Rams, got traded to the Lions, and no?
You might be thinking of Jared Goff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, he's old. Like everyone talks about Brady. This guy's way older to play. I've heard the name, obviously. I couldn't tell you exactly what it did.
This is Harper Goff. You just want to keep the sports theme going today, don't
you? So, yeah. Who knew?
Harper Goff, Disney legend in 1993. He designed the Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. We were talking about it earlier. He actually designed that, and that's what he's, I think, most well known for by Disney fanatics who were in love with the Nautilus. Also did a lot of work on the Jungle Cruise. In fact, his window on Main Street is, in fact, not on Main Street, but is in Adventureland directly across from the Jungle Cruise. You can go see that window. And then also did a lot of work on World Showcase at Epcot. So Disney legend Harper Goff, born on this day in 1911. And no, he is no longer with us, unfortunately. On this day in 2023, another Disney legend was born. Her name is Joyce Carlson. A lot of people will recognize this name and this face. She was named a Disney legend in 2000. Worked for Disney for 56 years, including the original Small World at New York's World's Fair. She worked on Cinderella, Peter Pan, Sleeping Beauty, and then she also worked when Epcot opened as a senior show production designer. She retired in 2000. She has a window on Main Street in Walt Disney World that says "Dolls by Miss Joyce, doll maker for the world," which now makes me beg the question, Kyle: is a window on Main Street at Disney World better than
I think a window on any main street? There are what? 3 of them? 4? There are 4.
What? Main streets? Aren't there like 6?
No, because it's World Bazaar in Hong Kong, in Tokyo rather, and then it's Mickey Avenue in Shanghai. So there's Hong Kong, Paris, Disney World, Disneyland.
Now just a minute.
World Bazaar is a main street.
It's not. It's specifically not.
Well, I haven't been there, so fine. I will defer to you on this one. Finally, on this day in 1971, the year I was born, that means this guy is younger than me. Alan Tudyk was born. He is many, many, many characters, including all the ones you see here. Future Disney legend, you figure, Kyle?
Probably. I mean, especially because his work on Firefly is now part of Disney's ownership.
Good
so
point.
you got that as well, which is what Becca knows him for. He's also done a lot of stuff. I think he was on an episode of Frasier. He was, I think, he was the owner of the station for a minute, and I think he's the one that is that the one that copies like Frasier's design and stuff. Like it's an apartment like right near him and decorates it all the same.
Man, I can't believe I don't even remember this. I've seen Frasier.
I think so.
Times.
Tony hit me up in private chat if you remember. I'm pretty sure that was Alan Tudyk.
He was also in Rogue One. This is definitely a future Disney legend. He's kind of like the current good luck charm Disney has going. So happy birthday, 52nd birthday to Alan Tudyk, who is thankfully still with us.
I mean, he's in enough movies that he has inside jokes for his character names. Like so Duke of Wesselton and...
Doing a quick check since the 10 o'clock hour has arrived, seeing if anything new has broken since then, while Kyle and Tony try to find out if that's the correct Frasier he's thinking of.
Yeah, he hasn't answered me yet. Come on, Tony.
Gotta be watching. Tony. That's a part of your job responsibility.
I'm still sad that those. I'm looking at our tweet deck and still people liking and retweeting the photos of the Tron, Mickey and Friends characters, and yeah, I really wish that those were going to be around more because they're very cool outfits. Oh, I see the words Disney Cruise.
What do you see? I didn't see that.
Oh, they just it looks like Disney did some charity event. Let's see. Disney delivers joy to children's hospitals across Florida. I think we might have already known about this. They might just be a different write-up about it, but there's some Disney Cruise Line stuff in here. It's some nice photos.
I think we did know about that, Kyle. But also, what did you ask? I stepped away for a half second. I come back. Tony, find something out.
We're talking about Alan Tudyk, and I was talking about how I was pretty sure he's on an episode of Frasier, and I think he is the one where he owns the station for a minute, and he lives in an apartment in Frasier's building and decorates it all.
Well, that's of course the episode "The Great Crane Robbery." I think.
Are you serious?
New radio station owner Alan Tudyk, yes, a nouveau riche.com millionaire.
Wow, nice going, Tony.
And he steals his art style. Apartment that would have what.
Hold on, just a second.
It's easy, with Frasier. It's one of those where, like Seinfeld, where you can remember a couple of different Seinfeld plots and not remember that they took place in the same episode.
Right.
That's
or
true.
You mash up things.
See, even sometimes. Oh, I'm scanning my brain.
I loved you in IMDb.
that's so important, but that's okay.
Yeah, he's a millionaire with a reputation for stealing ideas to his tastefully decorated home, and later is shocked to discover that his young boss not only bought a condo in his building, but copied exactly his entire decor scheme. Except
Nice recall
for
there,
the father's
Tony.
chair.
Yes.
Awesome. Nice recall.
Okay.
Thanks, Tony.
Bye, everybody.
Must-see TV expert, Tony Betty.
Let's check on this. This is so important. It looks like Snow White still in the lead at 86%. Dumbo, 14%. That lead has actually shrunk a tiny bit. So get your
You know
Snow
what the
White picks out
Jayhawks
there.
are going to say after this game? Bye, son.
I don't get it.
They're playing the Bison, apparently.
Gotcha.
According to the trending topics.
Is there a game going on this morning already?
I don't know if it's happening yet. I'm just looking at the side of Twitter and getting distracted and then making puns. And I also know the
Disney
Jayhawks are
Speedstorm.
good, so I would expect. Well, they were
Disney
good last year.
Speedstorm is coming. Have we seen the trailer for Disney Speedstorm before?
Who knows? I don't care about such things.
You get a little too comfortable here.
I keep doing the wrong button first. Yes, we have seen the trailer for Speedstorm, or at least we've seen
Okay.
play of it. It's been in beta for a few months now.
Thank you. Wow, you're very talented, Tony. Well, it is coming out on April 18th. They just put a tweet out there.
I think that
You can
might be
pre-order
new,
now.
the official launch date, because it has been in beta. But
Well, April 18th, pre-order now. Disney Speedstorm.
Now it's going Omega.
All right, well, I'm just going to put this on in the background while we finish up today. For anyone interested in Disney Speedstorm, looking through the Twitter, I don't seeing anything else. All right.
What's the one that your wife plays? She plays a recent Mirrorverse or what?
She has played. I don't know how much she plays it, but she has played it. I don't think she's. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, Geo with the slam. Speedstorm is a boring racer.
Oh, Geo. I think you're talking about Dreamlight Valley, Kyle.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, because Morgan plays that one too, and has basically beat the game. She has to wait for every update every month. And be like, okay, boop, 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 boop. Plays for a few hours, and I got it. Bye.
Dang.
Anyway,
Tony
bye.
Morgan, everybody. Tony Morgan. All right.
Here
Thank
he
you,
comes, here
everyone.
comes
Tony
Speed
Betty.
Racer.
Tony Betty. Thank you, Tony, very much for your voluminous contributions today. Thank you, Kyle, as always, for being our driver. And thank you, Doobie, for being here. And most importantly, thank you, Ethan, for allowing us to continue to breathe. We will see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. with the next edition of the LPTV Disney Morning Show. Don't forget, at 1 p.m. today, Rebecca and the famous Mike Celestino will be dissecting Mandalorian Chapter 19, The Convert. I am looking forward to that. Until then, where is that video? Hotkeys, please. If I could have one thing in my life, it would be hotkeys.